Hello. Welcome. Fixing my fro. Welcome. Hello. Welcome, Nicole. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Hi, my Pisces sister. You love the fro, Nicole? I'm trying to get it together. So, thank you. Welcome, welcome. Skin Life Chat. 4 o'clock on Fridays. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Welcome, Onyx Digital. Welcome, welcome. Playing a little Nina today. Just a little. Little Nina Simone. If you tuned in before, you know I am the music person. Love my music. So like I said, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome all. Skin Life Chats. Welcome, D. Buffett. Welcome. Good to see you as always. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, yes. Oh, that's right. Nina is another Pisces sister, girl. You know us Pisces. I had a Pisces connection this week with one of my spa on-site clients. And, you know, we were talking all day, and then we realized that we were Pisces sisters. So, yeah. Us Pisces. But, you know, all the zodiacs have their specialness to them. But, you know, when it's your actual zodiac sign, you know, you got to give it a little bit more. Hey, cuz, welcome. Thanks for checking in. I know you've been working, schooling them kids back. I hope all is well. I hope you're doing okay. My cousin is a veteran teacher. She's been a teacher for over 30 years, schooling the masses from New York to Georgia, and just, you know, guiding the young. And yeah, so Georgia's back in school, and, you know, just hoping that everything is going well, you know, for her and her classroom. Hello, Emily Rose. Welcome, welcome. 403, ladies. So I'm going to start at 405. And today's subject is menopause and skincare. So just in case you didn't know, it's menopause and skincare. Big up to the teachers. That's right. Big up to the teachers. Hey, other librarian in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Urban Library Room. Her partner is here, the Virgo. How you doing, Misha? Oh, welcome, welcome. Hi, Miriam. Welcome. Oh, my big sisters in the house. There's lots of love. Hey, Cecily and my auntie. Hello, ladies. Welcome. So it's 4:03, winding down, just making sure everybody's in. I think I'm going to turn Nina down a little bit, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Hey, Halima. Hello, I think that is an orphanage in Uganda, Hope for Joy Child. So welcome, welcome. Welcome. Welcome all to the Skin Life Chats with Maven on Friday at 4. Greetings, greetings. Yes, greetings to you as well. Hope for Joy Child Center in Uganda. So it's 4:04, and I'm just going to jump right in, you know, just introduction. Skin Life Chats, Fridays at 4, informal chatting about skin and how it relates to life, and the opposite as well. Life, how it relates to skin. So born of the pandemic and been here for a few weeks, more than a few weeks, and just happy to have an audience. Welcome, welcome. Just happen to have a community to speak about one of my favorite subjects, skin. Hello, family. Hey, Manny. So yes, just very thankful for this platform, and also for the ears, and also for the support in the community. So, yes, this week's chat is about menopause and skincare. Okay, so menopause. Y'all ready? So, menopause. Menopause is, what is menopause? Let's start with what it is, okay? Menopause is a time in a woman's life when her menstrual cycle is about to end or is starting to end. So her body is preparing to stop menstruating every 28 days, okay? So usually it starts to happen anywhere between your mid to late 40s. Generally speaking, from a physician's standpoint, they usually typically round it around those years, but it can be before, or it could be after. So yes, typically around the mid 40s, mid to late 40s, it'll start. And the focus of it is the fact that definitely you're losing your menstrual cycle, but the compositions of hormones are also changing in your body. Okay, so that is menopause. There is, I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit more. I love me some Nina, y'all. But I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. But yeah, so one of the chief things, like I said, is hormonal, and there is a significant drop in one of our main hormones, which is estrogen. Okay, so that is what really changes your life during menopause. So the symptoms of menopause. So ladies, I am in it, or perimenopausal. I'm 54. And a lot of my community, my friends, my sisters, my my other queens, that I've, grown up with, and they are also going through it at the same time, because we're around the same age. So the symptoms, hot flashes, girl, that's the first one. Hot flashes. Everybody talks about those. That's the most common thing that people talk about. Night sweats. That's the most common thing. The hot flashes is the most common thing people talk about. But once the hot flashes, it's a very, like a secretive conversation. Like, we don't share, occurrences. We don't share experiences during menopause a lot of times. So we don't school our other sisters on what we're going through. Sometimes because of, shame. Sometimes because of fear of being, ostracized or what have you. Not even ostracized, but made fun of, or just the fact that menopause is definitely a key to knowing that, of course, we're getting older. So sometimes we don't want to necessarily speak about those things. But I feel that that does us a disservice by not speaking among ourselves, because we don't have any reference point, only from doctors, of what we're to experience. So I think opening up the conversation about menopause, hey, all women go through it. So I think opening up the conversation about menopause is key. So hot flashes is the one thing everybody talks about. It's like, I'm hot, girl, I'm hot. Oh, girl, I got a flash. All of a sudden I was somewhere and, I felt a warmness inside, and it just started spreading out. It just got hot. So that's a common thing people talk about, night sweats. Pain during intercourse is another symptom of menopause. Increased anxiety is another symptom of menopause. Irritability, your attitude. Sometimes little things just tick you off. Sometimes you get angry. Sometimes you cry. So that's another symptom of menopause. Weight gain, inconsistent sleep patterns. Those are some symptoms of menopause. So menopause, like I said, what it is that we're losing that menstrual cycle. Not something that we completely love, but that is a part of being a woman, is having your menstrual cycle. So the three hormones that are affected by menopause, estrogen being the first. So like I mentioned before, there is a significant drop in estrogen. Welcome. Hey, Berta. So, there's a significant drop in estrogen, okay? So what does that mean? Relating to, let's start with estrogen. What does that control? Estrogen levels, and especially in our skin. So It affects our collagen production, okay? It also affects the thickness of our skin. It affects our hydration level, okay? It affects the lipid barrier and the function of it and how it protects our skin. It also affects the way our skin heals. It affects the way our skin, it starts our skin to thinning, the loss of estrogen. It starts our skin to possibly sagging because we're losing the collagen, so the firmness and the structure, and of course the promotion of wrinkling of the skin because of the dryness. So the loss of estrogen is significant, and one of the reasons why you see that major change around your mid to late 40s into your 50s when you're perimenopausal, into menopause and postmenopausal, is because of the fact that estrogen is an extremely important hormone, not only to the functions of our body and our reproductive system, but also to our general health. And of course, the largest organ of our body, our skin, is affected by the estrogen level. So like I said, you start to see a thinning, less structuring, more wrinkles. And sometimes, because of the fact that it's thinning, you'll also notice more sensitivity. So is there any ladies that are in the house, in the chat, that are experiencing any of those, symptoms from perimenopausal, menopause and also postmenopause? Is any ladies experiencing any sensitivity, any onslaught? Welcome, BTHS in the house. High school. Hey, Terry. But yes, are any ladies experiencing all of a sudden, something that you ate that you've always eaten gave you an allergic reaction. Something that you've touched, that you've always touched, gave you an allergic reaction. You have this weird, dermatitis is what the dermatologist will tell you. But it's just something that just popped up, that inconsistency in texture, might be a little itchy, just those things. It's the reason being, okay, so I see there's quite a few women, not quite a few, but it's a few women that are saying, yes, I'm experiencing this sensitivity. I'm experiencing some type of dermatitis. I'm experiencing something I put something on my skin that I've been using for years, or I've eaten something that I've eaten for years, and all of a sudden it's giving me a reaction. This is because of the loss of estrogen. The estrogen is leaving, okay? So, that is why. Those are the reasons why. And yeah, it's the thing about menopause is, and any hormonal change in a woman, is we all go through it. We all go through puberty. That's our first hormonal change, is when we're introduced to the menstrual cycle. We all go through menopause, when the, menstrual cycle is leaving. Those of us that have children, we go through a different change of hormones when when we're pregnant, and then once after the pregnancy. But we all go through common hormonal, phases in our life, but we don't tend to share them. We don't, so that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to have this specifically on menopause, because I just wanted to open the forum and just talk about it, because, it's something we all go through, and we need to share the information because it can help another sister, it can help you, it can help me. So, just sharing information. So yes, the estrogen drop, the drop of the estrogen, girl, significant drop, causes that sensitivity, causes that thinness, and that onslaught of premature aging in your skin. So some of the things within your program that I would adjust would be I always suggest a creamy cleanser, because that maintains that lipid barrier that's starting to thin from the loss of estrogen. Okay, so a creamy cleanser is what I suggest. Exfoliation, but nothing granule, nothing to assist with the thinning of the skin. So of course something chemical or enzymatic. Also, a serum. Serums hydrating, because we're losing water. So we're using hyaluronic acid also during menopause. So something that's hydrating and bringing water into the skin, okay? So those are the suggestions that I would say. Also your antioxidants, I'm a big antioxidant girl. We all should be. So your antioxidant serums as well, your vitamin C, A, your vitamin C, your vitamin E. Those are topical, ingredients and serums that you can intertwine into your program that will be best for a skin that's going through perimenopause, menopause, or even postmenopause. So the drop of estrogen, okay? So like I mentioned before, there are 3 hormones that are strongly affected by, we are full of hormones, ladies, but those 3 hormones are strongly affected by menopause: estrogen, and then testosterone, and then the other one is progesterone. Okay, so with estrogen, I'm just going to stay on estrogen just for a little while. With estrogen, because of the fact that your collagen is starting to slow down, your hydration level is going, there are certain things that you can supplement the estrogen in your body by intaking. So, if you've tuned in before, I'm a big, whatever you put in is what you put out. So I start from within. So one of the things that promotes estrogen levels is soy intake. Soy, it could be tofu. It doesn't necessarily just have to be tofu. It can be tempeh. There's also miso. So 3 ounces a day of soy is helpful in promoting or the diminishing factors of estrogen in a woman that is going through menopause. Is those 3 things. So there's soy, that can be tofu. Soy can also be tempeh. Soy can also be miso. And like I said, 3 ounces a day will help to keep up a level of estrogen in your body because we're losing it. Okay? So moving on to testosterone. So testosterone, ladies. So testosterone is the male hormone. We know it to be the male hormone. That's, that's its star billing. It's the male hormone. What do we need testosterone for? We definitely have it. So why do we have testosterone? What reason do, so testosterone is produced in our ovaries, okay? And it affects our libido, and it affects the moisture in the reproductive system, okay? Vaginal dryness being one. So with the loss, now the ovaries are not producing as much testosterone. Now you're starting to see, the effects that it has on your libido, the effects that it has on your vaginal dryness, okay? And the effects that it has on the skin, the fact that your pore size is enlarging, the clarity in your skin. This is what testosterone will promote. Welcome and welcome. So testosterone, what helps to build testosterone? So the things that we use topically to help with the drop of estrogen also can help with the drop of testosterone in our topical skincare programs. But what internally can we take? What internally can we promote in our lifestyle that will help with the drop of the testosterone? So one of the main things that I take for testosterone dropping is black seed, the cumin, black seed. So it could be black seed oil, or it can be a finely crushed black seed. I usually take mine in a capsule. The capsule, of course, that Skin Life sells. So black seed promotes testosterone in the body because we are also losing that. And the other lifestyle practice that helps with testosterone loss is exercise, and specifically building muscle. Okay? Specifically building muscle. That's why you see in probably the last 10 years, you see a big resurgence of women lifting, like powerlifting, because of the fact that, and they're older, their trainers are encouraging them to put on more muscle, because of course muscle is going to defeat the fat. And that, of course, is one of those things that is in part of menopause, is weight gain and retaining weight, and that extra 10 pounds that you just can't get rid of. Can I get a high five? Can I get a high five? But it's possible to get rid of it by just switching up. So if you were like mostly a cardio girl, you're doing your cardio all the time. The thing, welcome. The thing is that you definitely need to build your muscles to diminish the fat. Okay? So, muscle building. It could be weightlifting. It could be, there's some yoga practices that are also weight building because it stabilizes the muscle. But just encouraging you building muscle in your body. And that will help you have more muscle than fat. And it will also help to, keep a control of your testosterone loss. Okay? Okay. So, moving on, like I said, black seed is one of the things that I take. Oh, welcome, Sarah. So, black seed is one of the things that I take for the loss of testosterone, and also exercising, muscle building, making sure, because the loss of testosterone, how it affects your skin is that the clarity of the skin, the texture of the skin, and the dryness of the skin. So we want to supplement the testosterone that's being lost by our life practices, taking a medicinal herb, black seed, to promote testosterone, and exercising, muscle building exercises that promotes testosterone. Okay, so now we go into the third hormone. We had estrogen first, testosterone, and now we're going to progesterone. Okay, so progesterone, is a specific female hormone. So that means that there's no progesterone in men. Okay, there's a little estrogen in men. Some men have a little estrogen, girl. Some have more than others. Hello and welcome, story girl. Men have estrogen as well, and women have testosterone. So those are shared hormones, sexual hormones, reproductive hormones that both men and women have. But progesterone is specifically a female hormone, and progesterone it starts in puberty. It is to regulate your menstrual cycle. So now in menopause, we're starting to slow down our menstrual cycle. Our estrogen is leaving, and now what is the progesterone? What does the progesterone do? So like I said, it regulates the menstrual cycle and it prepares the uterus for pregnancy, but it is a part of menopause because it's starting to diminish. The thing it does is also it calms your libido. It helps with your sleep patterns, okay? And your bone diminishing also starts to develop with your loss of progesterone, okay? And also that progesterone can be that one little hormone that also affects that extra 5 pounds, especially in the middle, okay? Especially around the reproductive organs, okay? So progesterone, calming the libido, sleep, because that's definitely one of the things that happens during menopause is your sleep patterns are off, or you can't even fall asleep. I have tons of clients that tell me that all the time. So yes, progesterone. So typically, I've spoken to a gynecologist earlier, a holistic gynecologist, and typically they suggest a topical cream of progesterone, usually possibly put around the middle. Also they suggest herbs, definitely a holistic one. And wild yam is one of them. Wild yam is one. Okay, ladies. So I personally, as far as I haven't taken any wild yam just by itself. I've taken wild yam in formulations for menopause, but I haven't taken it by itself. But definitely, is that what it is? Maybe I'm premenopausal because I don't sleep as well at night. It's a possibility. It's a possibility that you are premenopausal and that is happening. So there's a couple of things that you can do. The wild yam is definitely helpful to promoting that sleep pattern and also the diminishing of the progesterone. Okay, so wild yam definitely, and like I said, I personally haven't taken it just by itself. I've taken it with other herbs that help during menopause. Okay, but like I said, I spoke to a holistic gynecologist, and she mentioned it's in her topical cream when she suggests for clients. So there was a book a couple of years ago that I was reading, and it was Belly Fat to Belly Flat, and it really broke down belly fat to belly flat. Okay, so it really broke down the progesterone and why that little extra 5 pounds or that extra fat that we have during this time of our life is how is it affected, and why we have it. And it was because of the progesterone. It also can affect your thyroids, hypo or hyper. So your progesterone is one of those little hormones that we never really talk about, but is of the three very important in the menopause stage. Okay, so wild yam is definitely one of the things. And what does progesterone do to the skin? How, as the skin is starting, as the progesterone is starting to leave, what does it do to the skin? And pretty much the same thing as the other two did. The structure, you're losing your collagen, you're losing water in your skin. The sensitivity in your skin is promoted more so, and also the loss of the progesterone is sometimes affected when you see adult acne during this time. Okay, adult acne during this time. So welcome Leslie, welcome. So yes, so the loss of the progesterone is one of the biggest, how it affects the skin. One of the biggest ways is that cystic, not necessarily always cystic, but that adult acne that's persistent during your 40s and your 50s, and you're like questioning. I have clients that come in and it's like, I'm not a teenager, why am I breaking out? And I always, I check. I'm like, well, let's go through your cycle. Let's go through your, and sometimes it's like, you kind of nosy, and I'm like, well, it all affects your lifestyle. It all affects your skin. So I'm just asking these questions just to get a little bit more personalized on how we can treat this issue for you. So we get into these conversations and we warm up to each other because, of course, I mentioned to them that, I'm a woman, sometimes I've had times when there was irregularity, or sometimes I've had times when, one period was worse than the other, and how it affected my skin. So, like I said, speaking about these things, opening up these subjects, and just, and feeling comfortable discussing with your sisters what, effects menopause is having on you. And by sharing this information, I really think that we don't have to, it's not a taboo. It's something that we all go through, and we can go through it just a little bit lighter, go through it a little bit softer with the support of a community of sisters, okay? So, like I said, progesterone will affect and will cause that persistent adult acne. And that's when your skincare program definitely has to be, a part of it is exfoliation. You definitely have to exfoliate, and using that chemical exfoliant to persist the onset of acne deep into the pores of the skin, or deep into the layers of the skin. Okay? And ladies, any questions? Any questions? Okay, I'm just waiting to see if there's any questions. It's 4:28, and I do have a few more things to introduce about the good old pause of men. My mother, that's what she used to call it. She was like, there's no such thing as menopause, pause of men. No, we don't do that in life. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Okay, you're right. But that's another thing. I mean, women, I remember a gynecologist telling me, you're going to go through menopause like your mother did. Or so ask your mother how she went through menopause. And I'm like, my mother's like, I didn't really go through menopause, it was, I just stopped. And then so I was like, okay, well, maybe, I asked my grandmother how she went through menopause. And then I know that my grandmother had a hysterectomy, so she didn't go through it how I would. So normally, even especially during these times, because people go through different things, different lifestyles, different changes. Look at what's going on now. Difference in generations, okay, and in just life experiences. So women don't necessarily go through menopause the same way their mother did. They don't have the same lifestyle that their mother did. They don't have the same eating habits. They don't have the same work. They don't have the same amount of children or no children, whatever. But that not necessarily you're going through it the same way your mother did. It is, good to have a history or a reference, and speak about it. But sometimes you're going to go through it differently, okay? And that's where the community comes in. So good old menopause and how it affects the skin. The other thing about menopause is also the stress. And the stress will cause the other hormones to act up. and sometimes cause some indifference in your skin, and indifference in your well-being and just your peace. So there's some stress relieving rituals that I would suggest. Welcome, my little sister. Oh my gosh. What's going on, Mega? Mwah. So it's so good to see you. Love you. So yes, so stress. So stress is relative, ladies. Stress is relative. We all go through it, not just ladies, men too. So how to manage it. And as we're going through this menopausal time in our life, and when we're going through this menopausal time, it's not like we can shut off everything else. We're mothers, we're sisters, we're friends, we're everything. We women are multitaskers. We do everything. So, stress is a part of our life. How to manage it and not have it control you is the thing. So as menopause comes on and, like I said, there's an increased irritability as your estrogen levels start to drop. There's an increased, anxiety as your estrogen levels drop. So what do? You're trying to balance. This is what life practices. You want to balance, okay? You want to relieve stress through meditation, okay? Through yoga. I had a client this week and she mentioned to me that her therapist said that you should look into doing some yin yoga. So yin yoga, I looked into it. I got to bring you some information. So yin yoga is just a slower form. And it pays attention to the breath work and the hold. It is muscle building, but the yin and the yang. Yin is more of a woman, okay, and the stress relieving of a woman. So it pays attention to that. So meditation, yoga, and of course exercise, and indulging in your self-care rituals. So I know self-care. What's up, hungry medium? I know self-care, that's a buzzword. You hear it all the time, like self-care. Care for yourself. Take time to be your initial caretaker. You're taking care of everybody else, your work people, like I said, children, husband, parents, everybody. So, I definitely would suggest that stress relief being a part of it, life practices being a part of relieving your stress, meditation, yoga, exercise, self-care rituals like spending time with your skincare, spending time with your cleansing practices. Welcome, VSU Gucci girl, one of my sisters. Welcome. So, taking those times and not rushing through it. Making yourself important during this time of your life is crucial to your well-being, going through this pause of men or menopause. But it's not a taboo. We go through it and guess what? We're going to get through it as well. So that's why I wanted to do the show on menopause. So I'm looking for, I think I see a question. I'm not sure, but are there any questions, ladies? Do you have any questions? Because I have a little bit more information to give you, but I want to stop to see if anybody has any questions on the information that has already been given. Okay, I don't see any questions, so I'm probably going to go on. So I want to go over a few of the things that I went over before, because some people are just popping in. So we were speaking about menopause. Menopause, of course, is a time in a woman's life when her menstrual cycle is about to end and our estrogen levels are dropping. So there's 3 specific hormones that affect the skin and the body and your lifestyle during menopause. It's estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone. And with estrogen, you're losing, the structure. You're losing collagen. You're losing water. You're losing firmness. Your skin is more prone to the ability for the skin to heal through wounds. You're losing your lipid barrier. Through testosterone, the skin is thinning. Also, the clarity of the skin, the texture of the skin, and progesterone. The loss of the progesterone sometimes promotes the acne, the adult acne, and also lack of sleep and different things. So this is how those 3 hormones affect the skin and the lifestyle. And before I was mentioning ways in which you can internally treat it and, of course, topically treat the loss of these hormones which affect your skin and your life. Okay? So, I'm a big herb girl, big herb girl, always been. So I like to share information. There's a blend of herbs that I capsule, and I capsule them fresh. So I don't have, an actual capsule to show you, but I blend Damiana, kelp, Don Quai, and black cohosh in a capsule. So what are these herbs? What do they do? Why do I blend them? And it's called the Sisters Blend, okay? And the Sisters Blend, the Damiana specifically, it helps with the libido. It helps with, the lowering of the libido, because that is a common concern in women that are menopausal. We're getting older, and, we're in our mid-40s and 50s, and not like our grandmothers, not like our mothers, we're still vital, we're still young, we're still moving around and doing our thing. So, of course, we don't want the decrease of sexual desire to affect us. We don't want the vaginal dryness to affect that. We're still vital, okay? So Damiana is one of those herbs that helps with that. It helps to promote your libido. It helps with vaginal dryness. It helps with also urinary tract or any type of bacteria that can be surrounded in the reproductive organ. So Damiana is one of those herbs, okay? Damiana, and then we'll move on to kelp. Kelp is an herb that is full of minerals, a natural source of vitamins, B vitamins, 1, 2, C, D, E. So kelp I also use as a replacement for salt. And welcome my sister, welcome my other sister. Wow, thank you for coming in. But kelp, so sea kelp full of vitamins, full of minerals. And also, like I said, I also use it as a replacement of salt in foods at times, because of the fact that I want to lower my sodium intake. So kelp is full of zinc, iodine rich, magnesium. So it regulates metabolism. So it helps with the onslaught of the weight loss. Okay, it helps with that little 5 pound middle that menopause promotes. So it helps with that. Okay. Then the Don Quai. The Don Quai is a female ginseng. So, I remember maybe in the 80s. Welcome, Valerie Vargas. So I remember maybe in the 80s. I don't know. Maybe it was before the 80s. But, Chinese herbs was getting very popular. And I used to see guys like, I'm going to get my ginseng. So at the corner store, at the bodega, they used to have the ginseng. You need some? Okay. All right. You need some Sisters Blend? Okay. All right. Well, I definitely want to give you sisters, and I want you to come and check out SkynLife.com. It's not on there as of yet, because I make fresh batches. But right after, this particular chat, I'm definitely going to go into full promotion of the Sisters Blend, because, ladies, I just want to share information to help us, through this menopausal time. You know what I'm saying? It's something that we can share with each other. Like I said before, information needs to be shared so we don't feel like we're going through this alone. Can you purchase the Sister Blend from you? Of course you can purchase the Sister Blend from me, my big sister Cecily. Of course you can. And we'll talk about that later. So, so the Don Quai is the female ginseng. And like I said, I used to see the guys at the bodega, and they would get their little panics, and they have their, ginseng, and they say, oh, it makes me strong, I'm sexual vigor. So Don Quai is the female version of that. It's a Chinese herb. So it helps to promote the libido, also the dryness in it, because those are the things that occur when when our menopause starts. Those three things that start to drop down. So yes, that's one of the things that we don't really talk about, is the fact that we lose the libido and the vaginal dryness. I have a funny story about the vaginal dryness, but we'll go back. And so I'll go back to that later. So the next herb that's in the Sisters Blend is black cohosh. So black cohosh treats the imbalances of at the estrogen level. Okay, so it specifically is helpful with the hot flashes. It's specifically helpful with heart palpitations, which is another thing that sometimes occurs during menopause. The fast heart palpitations that you may feel. Ladies, anybody have felt that? Any? I know I have felt that at times before as well. So yes, so it helps with heart palpitations. Okay, vertigo. So I know you ladies have heard this term vertigo, okay? And you hear it more and more as we get towards that mid-40s, or mid-40s, late 40s, 50s. More women are going through it. Why? Something to discuss at our sister circle next week. Yes, something to discuss because we are having a sister circle. So, hello, Maisha. Wow. So, yes. So black cohosh helps with hot flashes, heart palpitations, vertigo, that imbalance and that feeling and that nausea, and sleep disturbance, okay? And sleep disturbance, black cohosh. So the black cohosh, I actually took, and I have a tale about that as well. I was pregnant with my first child, and my water broke first. So my water broke, and they were like, well, monitor you, and if you haven't gone into full blown, then we're going to give you some Pitocin to push you into labor. So I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm just sitting here. I wasn't feeling any pains or anything. I'm just sitting there, doing my thing. So now it came to the point where they're checking me like you're still not dilated. So yeah, here comes the Pitocin. My mother was there, and she, hello and welcome. Welcome, Judenai. Welcome. But, so she was like, no, don't give her no Pitocin. You wait right here. I'll be right back. So I was like, listen to my mother. No Pitocin. So she came back with a tea. Okay. Black cohosh was a part of it. I think valerian root, uva ursi. Okay. So she came back with this tea, and it was in like a gallon water bottle, but I think it was half full or maybe 3/4 full, 75% full, okay? So she was like, drink this. And it was, she had a friend that was a midwife. A doula, herbalist. So she came with like a natural Pitocin. So I was drinking it, they checked me into the bed, drinking it, waiting for dilation. So maybe about 2 to 3 hours later, full blown, I'm in labor. Maybe about 6 hours. I just drank the tea, laid in my bed, and I was my first baby, so I didn't really know what to expect. I wasn't calling the nurses, but I can feel something was going on. Maybe about 3 to 4 hours later, I was like, I said to my husband at the time, he was like, I think you need to call the nurse. And he was like, okay. So the nurse comes in, and when she comes in, she checks me, and she's like, oh my God, you're like 8.5 centimeters. Like you're almost fully dilated. You didn't call us? You wasn't going through any pain? You wasn't, what's the, I was like, I don't know. She's like, they were rushing. They was like, oh, we got to get you here. So then after labor, after everything went through, the baby was born. What a blessing. And the nurses was like asking my mother, what was in that tea? What was in that drink? What was in it? Because, it took me right into labor. It dilated me, and I wasn't screaming out for pain. Not to say it wasn't painful, but I wasn't screaming out for pain. So, yes, the medicinal herbs are one of the key things that are very helpful in the times in our lives when we're going through hormonal changes. The consistency of taking something like that instead of taking a hormone that may affect your health differently. I had a very good friend of mine, and she was going through, some of the symptoms. The irritability was really bothering her, and her doctor, gave her hormones. And since we're going through the 3 levels of those hormones, that we never, you never know. Without checking her hormone level, he gave her additional hormones, and then welcome, and when he gave her the additional hormones, it affected her health, tremendously. And I firmly believe that it was a part of the onslaught of breast cancer. So, if you can stray away from having, the additional hormones, or speaking to someone, a holistic gynecologist or gynecologist, and seeing what their views on the loss of estrogen and how it relates to you and your life and your lifestyle and any or health conditions that you may have. You really have to get personal with your menopause. It's not just something that you can just mask over. You want to go through it, and and then you go through it and be successful at it. Be happy, about it. Be content with being able to control. Hey, Water for Justice. Thank you for coming in. Water for Justice. I can't wait till next Friday, Water for Justice. We're going to be out there on the march. So, yeah, that's another subject. I'm going to kind of, wrap that up at the end. So, yeah, so that tea helped me. And there was a combination of herbs that were beneficial for the female reproductive system. So I was mentioning earlier another story that I had, and every time I think about this story, it tickles me. So I have to tell you. So I was on a train going to my college homecoming, maybe about 7 years ago. So I might have been at the tail end of my 40s, maybe 50. Yeah, March on Washington, August 28th. So, what tea? No, the tea was the black cohosh, uva ursi, and valerian root. The combination of those three herbs was the tea. Okay, okay, Mega. I don't know if it was. I don't think it was audio that made it. It was a midwife doula, maybe friends with audio. So we know, right, little sister. So anyway, I was on the train. And, and we had stopped. Yes, plug it, Sister Sada. Yes, plug that march. That's right. Talking about the March on Washington. But going back to the story. So, I'm on the train, and we were stopped for a reason or another. I can't remember. So I was in a dining car, and there was a free seat next to, older black woman, beautiful black woman. And I sat down next to her. So I was like, hello, and she was like, hi. And then she's like, I'm on my way, to go take care of my brother. He's not feeling well, and I was like, oh, wow, that's nice of you, great of you. She's like, oh, that's my brother, my only brother. I'm going to help his wife take care of him and nurse him back to health. I was like, oh, that's fabulous. So she was like, I'm healthy, I'm pretty healthy. I don't take any medication, I might take, I think, an aspirin for heart, but that's pretty much it. She's like, I'm pretty healthy. She said, but there's one thing about, this onset of age and getting older that maybe, I want to share with you, because maybe, nobody shared it with me, and, maybe your mother didn't share it with you. So I was like, okay. So she said, there's one thing about getting older and, after menopause, perimenopause, or during menopause, or what have you. She said, you get dry. And she said it just like that, lady. She said, dry. And I was like, so traumatized by her saying the word dry like that, because it's, when she said it like that, you kind of like, you can see her like saying that this is like the worst thing ever, that, I'm dry, so yes. Yes, I mean, the way she said it, oh my, it was hilarious. So I was like, okay. So I'm 47, or I don't think I was quite 50 yet, almost though. And I'm listening to this woman, and she wasn't 70 yet. She was right close to 70, okay? So the desert, that's the way she made it sound. She made it sound like it was a desert. And I was like, oh gosh. So she said, yeah, so ever since then, that was a fear. I'm so glad that she told me, but that was a fear. So I paid attention to it. So I, went into, delving into things that, keeps the suppleness of the reproductive system, keeps the moisture of the reproductive system. Things that I can eat, things that I could take, herbally, health practices, lifestyle, anything I could do to not get the dry. So, yeah. So, oh wait, the desert, not the desert. Yeah. So, so far so good. I'm so glad that she sat down and she said that to me. I sat down with her and she shared that with me. And, and that probably was the premise of me even sharing information, even with my clients, anybody that I see or talk to, or, we going through, talking about stuff that women go through, and it was like, girl, What about that dryness? Or, so these are things that we don't want to talk about, that we're going through. Some women are, some women aren't. But it's good to have a forum that we can talk about it. Talk about it. Yeah, she's in the desert. I keep seeing the desert. But yeah, I mean, the way she made it sound, it was like Saudi Arabia, girl. So the foods that promote the dryness, or help not to promote the dryness, but helps to alleviate the dryness. The foods that promote that. Aloe vera are one of them, okay? Watermelon is one of them. Mango is one of them. Spinach, kale is one of them. Eggplant, purple cabbage, red peppers, yellow peppers, orange peppers, just rich in color. That's promoting more antioxidants. Squash is another one as well, that also promotes. And a big thing to consume is alkaline water. So alkaline water used to be very tough to get. I remember I used to go to a health food store. I would have my glass gallon, go fill it up, bring it back home. It was $5, and every week I would go. Now I see Smart Water has an alkaline water. There's a couple of other ones that I've seen on the market. So alkaline water. You can also alkaline your own water with fresh lemon. Essentia, yes. I like that one too. I like that Essentia. I usually pick it up in the store. So yes, Essentia. So there's the other brands that are alkaline water, and that alkalinity promotes the alkaline in your body, which helps to diffuse acidity, which promotes that dryness. Okay, so just the alkaline. Like I said, you can alkaline your own water by adding fresh lemon. You can do a warm water, you can do a cool water, but adding fresh water for water with a little bit of lemon every day, or alkaline water, will help to alleviate the desert. All right, ladies, it is 4:52. I've been talking so much. I just want to know if there's any questions that you ladies have. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions. Any questions, ladies? Any questions? I'm dry. I have this little spritz that I use because of the mask. This particular spritz is a coconut pear, and it's a mineral water spritz. So it's very hydrating because that mask is, and I'm about to put it back on because I have to step out, but it's just drying in this area. So, I just try to, spritz every once in a while, every hour or two. So any questions? Any questions, lady? How about hair and menopause? So hair, very good question. So hair, skin, and nails, they're all in the same family. And yes, they are affected. Thank you about the info on the dryness. Oh, you're welcome. So, yes, it's affected the same way. So you'll start to see, since the fact that the collagen is we're losing the collagen, which is one of the proteins that support. We are also losing some keratin. So that's a big supportive protein of hair and nails. So yes, it's starting to diminish. So we have to build it up with some protein-rich products. Moisture, dryness is another thing. If you're dry, then your hair is more likely to fall out and to thin. So moisture is a huge thing for hair. And also supplements. The supplements, not only will they help with your skin, because, skin, hair, and nails. Skin are in the same family. It will also help with your hair. Okay? Did that answer your question? It can thin it out. It definitely can thin out the hair too. I got my period after a whole year of not having it. Heard it is normal, but wanted your take on it. So, depending on, they say once you finish, the full year is when you're in full-blown menopause. And then if you only had it that one time, okay, answered your question, cuz? So if you only had it that one time, then I wouldn't be worried about it. If you had it again, so you have to also think that your menstrual cycle or any hormone is affected by things that go on in your life, stress levels. So if it happened recently and it happened during the pandemic, that was a stressful time. So sometimes that'll bring it on. Also depending on the foods that you're ingesting, sometimes that may bring it on. But like I said, check and see if it happens again. And if it does, then talk to your doctor. But then, also try to incorporate some of the things that I mentioned in this week's chat. Did that answer your question, Birdie? Okay. So any more questions, ladies? So it's 4:55, and like I said, next Friday, ladies, I will not be here. I will be in Washington, D.C. at the 37th. I think it's the 37th. No, what am I saying? The 37th. The 57th anniversary of the March on Washington, where Martin Luther King made his famous I Have a Dream speech, okay? About when I was 17, I went to the 20th anniversary. And because of the times that we're living in now, I thought it was very important to attend this particular march. More fruits, more veg. Awesome chat. Oh, thank you. So I thought it was very important. And I'm not only attending, I'm attending with my son, my youngest son. I think my middle son may come down too. And my daughter's still thinking, like, I don't know if I can get out of work. Devontae said, oh, hi, Devontae. Mwah. I'm not only going, but also I'm meeting my sisters down there, my college sisters. And we are bringing our children. And one of my college sisters is my cousin. And her girls and herself formed a business called Water for Justice. It's really a non-profit and it was born of the protest, and they were giving water and spiritual optimism to the marchers, providing water, because you need water, you need hydration when you're out there protesting. So they started that during the protest that sparked off after George Floyd. So now we're going to the March on Washington. So I won't be here next week, and I will miss you, but I will be somewhere where I feel that, thank you for the wisdom and the knowledge. Oh, you're welcome, beautiful sister. But yes, I won't be here, but I'll be there, and I'll be back the next week to fill you in on whatever information that we, need to talk about. Okay? But yes, I think it was very important, and I'm so happy that me and my sisters are getting together. It's about 11 of us, and the children, and, so, yeah, and then we're going to definitely be practicing social distancing and, all the cleanliness as well. But I thought it was very important for us to attend, and attending as a group is just like monumental. So I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to bringing that experience back to you. Okay. Thank you for tuning in as usual. You need Sisters Blend. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to definitely DM me after the chat and let me know if you're interested in the Sisters Blend. But I am going to do a post about the Sisters Blend because, like I said, I just am making a fresh batch. I make it batch by batch. So, I will be promoting that as well. Okay, and Joy was having Wi-Fi problems, but we'll listen to this in its entirety. Oh, yeah, Wi-Fi problems they're here. Everybody has them. I don't know why, but everybody has them. And just to fill you guys in on what's going on with the facials in New York, no facials, still no facials. So I'm so happy that you allow me to come here to talk about my favorite subject. Love you all. Be well. Okay. Stay positive and treat yourself good, ladies. Treat yourself good. Bye now. Love you.